The following podcast is a Lady K Enterprises production. Lady K. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Lady K Chat, a podcast that is designed for all women to become better versions of themselves, which is broadcast every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Various subjects will be speaked upon, such as relationships, personal development, health and wellness, wealth building, children, and so much more. She is a two-time Amazon best-selling author, an international speaker, and life coach. She is Kalima, aka Lady K. And now for your host, Lady K.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in today's episode of Why Vote? And this show is a part of the April series 2020 election. And I put the title as Why Vote because some of us really do feel, why should we vote? And does our vote really matters? And this is why I invited my guest today so she can educate you on why your vote does matter. So please help me welcome Miss Louisa Dombloski of Monroe County Democrats of the state of Pennsylvania. Welcome, Louisa.
Thank you, Kalima.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on the show today, Louisa. And like I said, a lot of people are in their heads. They're like, why should I vote? Why does my vote matter? And I know you have the answers to that. So I would like for you just to give my audience a little bit of education on why their vote does matter.
Thank you again. So your vote matters because in Monroe County, we have lost elections by as few as one vote. And then when we recounted the vote, they still lost by one vote. Everybody's vote matters. And usually in Pennsylvania, what happens is it's the party that gets out their members who really make the difference. Because it doesn't matter if you have 20,000 people for your candidate if your opposition gets out 30,000 people. Mm-hmm. So it's very important. And I would like to talk with you today about the new voting laws in Pennsylvania that are making it so easy for you to vote. So there's no excuses anymore. So the first thing is, these are the changes since 1937.
Wow.
And they were made before this COVID-19 happened. So you can utilize these in the June 2nd election so that you are protecting your health as well as protecting your vote. So the first thing is you want to make sure you are registered correctly. And because of COVID-19, you could be staying in another home. You could be moving to another home. So this is why it's important. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're registered at your correct place. And you can do that through two sites. You can go to pavotes.com, or you can go to another site, which I'm going to tell you in a moment. So that's called pavoterservices.pa.gov. And I can send you information if you need anything to back up what I'm saying. You want to make sure your name is correct, your address is correct, and your party affiliation is correct. If you got married, divorced, you need to make sure your name is correct. And you need to check yourself before each election. You also could do this. So the PA primary election has been postponed from April 28th to June 2nd. This moves the various deadlines as well. PA now has early voting, and that's except that it's called mail-in ballot. Right. This is wonderful for voters. In the past, you had to fill out an absentee vote ballot request, and then you had to say you would be out of the county or out of your polling district. You don't have to do that anymore. You still can fill out an absentee ballot, or you can fill out a ballot for mail-in voting. And you do that at the 2 sites that I showed you. The other thing is that you can apply for mail-in ballot at either of those 2 sites I told you. Unless you are a military or overseas civilian, you can check all 3 boxes no on the first screen. The next screen will be the application for the mail-in ballot. Even if you would qualify for an absentee ballot, there is no penalty anymore if you apply for a mail-in ballot. So it's much easier. If you don't have a PA driver's license or a PennDOT ID card, the online process is a bit more complicated, and you may be better off using the paper application at the place I told you to go to, the 2 websites. In that case, instead of applying online, you can print the application, fill it out, and mail it to voter registration. The application must be received by voter registration no later than May 26th. It doesn't matter what the postmark is, they must have it in their office by May 26th. You may get an emailed notice that your application has been received, and you may not get one. And it's misleading because the ballots aren't printed yet. However, if you don't receive your ballot by the middle of May, you should write down this number and call Monroe County Voter Registration Office, 570-517-3165. When you receive the ballot, fill it out in the comfort of your home and make sure you fill in every circle completely. And when you receive it, fill it out and then get it back to voter registration. You can either deliver it or you can mail it, but follow the dates that it says. You must fill out the ballot according to the rules. If you do anything incorrectly, they can discard the ballot. So you could have someone check it in your house, or you could just look at it the next day before you mail it. We're asking you, once you get the ballot, to fill it in, check it carefully, make sure everything, you put it in the secrecy envelope that they provide, you send it back. Don't hold on to it, because we don't know with COVID-19 how swamped our voter registration office will be. The next thing is you have until 8 o'clock on Tuesday, June 2nd, to turn in your ballot at voter registration. You cannot turn it in any longer at your poll. Once you have filled out and returned your ballot, you cannot vote at your poll. Now, if you didn't turn in your ballot, but you filled it out, you then can go to your poll and fill out a provisional ballot. But we don't recommend doing that because there have been many issues with provisional ballots throughout the United States. It's best to vote by mail-in ballot, by absentee ballot, or voting in person. This election is unique because of COVID-19, and we don't know the dates where COVID is going to be gone.
Right.
So the next thing is that you can avoid the long lines. You might not have long lines in the primary, June 2nd, but there could be very long lines. Back in 2016, there were people waiting in line for hours. and you want to keep your 6-foot distance between the other people. Make sure when you fill out a ballot that you check both sides of the ballot, that you check everything to make sure you filled in everything and you haven't filled in, when it says just vote for one, that you haven't filled in 2 or 3 people for that. So the next thing is, this is a big election. There are people running for president, state attorney general, treasurer, auditor general, Congress, state representative, and then some places have contested elections, which are people running against each other on the same party. If you don't trust the U.S. Postal Service, because sometimes mail gets delivered to the wrong place, or you just don't trust them, then you can go to voter registration, but always call ahead, because you don't know what their hours are during COVID-19. Monroe County's usual hours are 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Their address is 1 Quaker Alley, room 105, Stroudsburg, the administrative building on North 6th Street between Main and Sarah Street. PA, remember, holds closed primaries. So even though these laws are allowing more people to vote, you can only vote in the primary if you are registered as a Republican or a Democrat. Now, if you're registered for one of the Republican or Democrat, you can vote, but you can't if you're registered as an independent or other.
Can I ask you a question, Louisa?
Sure, please.
I get it, that there are people that's independent. Do you know why they do not recognize independents to be, considered voters, and you only have to be a Republican or a Democratic? Do you know why?
No, but I think that would be a very good question that people should write their state representatives, their state senators, their governors, their Congress people, senators, because if that's what they feel, they should be working to change these laws. And it's all about who contacts your legislator. They go by the number of contacts that they receive on the same message.
So I just want to make sure I have this correct. So you are telling me, to a degree, if the people contact their state representative, that's when they start to matter? Because if they don't, then they're not doing anything. Then the state representatives don't know what you're thinking, and they don't know your thoughts, and they don't know your concerns. Is that correct?
And that's correct. That is correct. And that's correct for many things that we are trying to change. They look at how many contacts they get on the same issue. Usually they start to recognize it if there's 10. But now we're even seeing that they like to see 30 contacts on the same issue. So the same subject same subject title.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, everyone. I appreciate you, Louisa. I thank you guys for continuing to listen in to me. Continue to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Lady K Chat. And if you have any questions, you can always seek me at www.ladykenterprisesinc.com. You guys have a great night. And thank you so much, Louisa. And if people want to get in contact with your office, how can they reach you?
If they want to get in contact with me?
Yes, or your office.
Okay, 570-421-8277.
Thank you. And do you have a website as well?
No, I'm sorry, I don't have a website.
Okay, wonderful. But this goes back to the Monroe County Democratic Party.
Yes. Okay. So if you would go to Monroe County Democrats.
Okay.
And there is one, I think, in California. So you'd put in PA.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Louisa. And you guys have a great night. And I hope this information was vital to you. God bless.
Thank you.